So South Africa is going through a bit of an immigrant issue, but not in the way that you think it might be going. Now, they've had a lot of issues with apartheid and segregation in the past, segregation only ending in the 90s. But today in 2026, they are focusing all their hatred towards African immigrants. Now, a lot of Africa are looking at them and thinking, why you? Why is it that you are angry at other black Africans coming into your country when you have a history of other people coming into your country and doing you dirty? Now, I'm not going to deny that South Africans are being wronged. They've been wronged a lot in history. If you look back, they've been wronged very badly. And even till today, they're going through a lot of injustice. But their anger seems to be slightly displaced. It's gotten so bad that South African nationals are going into hospitals telling people that they should leave the hospital if they're not South African, because they believe that the doctors working there can only work on South African people and not other Africans.
If you know yourself that you're not South African, please all these nurses and doctors, they are here for South Africans. South Africa. Please stand up. Don't try us. What's that? You run faster. If you know yourself that you're not South African, please stand up. Please stand up. Please don't try us. Stand up right now. Stand up. Sister, are you South African? Are you South African? Because we are going to check everybody. Check them. Please, if you're not South African, come with me. Come. Come with me. Come. You guys are not South African. Go out. You can go to Unjani, block P there, or Mutila Hospital. Go. Hey, pass. What's Zimbabwe? You run past and go to the border.
These type of scenes, these type of images and videos that are going around online are deeply disturbing to other Africans, considering what the rest of Africa done for the black Africans that are in South Africa to help them out of apartheid.
I think that the young people of South Africa do not know what happened before they gained their freedom. The whole of this continent stood behind South Africa. The whole of Africa stood behind South Africa to fight against apartheid. I remember all of us growing up as secondary school children, went on marches, were part of the African Youth Command, we demonstrated, we boycotted classes and all that, all in the fight against apartheid. Indeed, for several of the countries where their citizens have been brutalized in South Africa, these are countries that were called frontline states that harbored the freedom fighters, of South Africa and gave them safe haven, gave them passports, to be able to avoid the clutches of the apartheid regime. And even Nigeria, even though not a neighbor of South Africa, was considered a frontline state because of the economic contribution that Nigeria did to the ANC to be able to liberate South Africa from apartheid.
When they needed help, when they needed a helping hand, it was the other black Africans that came to their aid. But now here we are today, and they're picking on black Africans coming into their country as immigrants, working for them, making their own little shops, coming in with their skills, and they're kicking them out because they believe that they're taking their jobs. The thing about this is not a new concept. I'm from the UK, you can hear from my accent, I'm British, yeah? I'm British born, African and Jamaican. And this type of talking point that they're using, they're taking our jobs, they're taking our money. It's the same thing that people say over here. They blame the immigrants for all of their problems. They blame immigrants who come in for taking their jobs. They blame immigrants for doing all the mad things. When really and truly, that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you just don't have the skills for the jobs, and people in other countries do. And them man will come into your country and take the jobs that they have the skills for. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of these cases, they're taking jobs that you are not applying for, or they're taking jobs that you don't have the skill for. How can you blame someone for taking a job that you don't have the skills to do? You know what I'm saying? That's why immigration and migration is so important in a lot of countries, because they help build your economy. That's one of the reasons why I think this anger is completely misplaced. They are beating up Africans in the streets who are not South African, simply for not being South African. You know how crazy it is? People who are working, people who are owning shops and they're selling supplies, foods, they're beating them up in the streets, forcing them to close shop. What? Because they're not South African. Does that make sense? And what's worse is some of them are pulling other business owners who are also immigrants into a room. The Indians, the Chinese, the white people, and they're having civil conversations with them, talking about, yeah, we would like for you to just hire the South Africans and not hire those other Africans.
Able to hire South Africans because of these reasons.
Wait, so what you're basically saying is if two shops don't comply, we all suffer.
Yes.
And that's why.
That's why we said everything is owner, because we've been speaking with the management.
So this lets me know that it's not an immigrant problem, it's a color problem. Because when they talk to black people who are from other African countries, they use their own language, they're aggressive, they touch them, they beat them up. I'm really struggling to come to terms with that, because given the history that they've gone through and who helped them, how can they turn on us like that? I'm using us because I'm Kenyan too, you know what I'm saying?
Let me answer you then. Who's the camps I can go to? Okay.
Which country do you come from?
I'm from Congo. Congo.
You're from Congo. What is the nearest country to Congo? If you're seeking refuge in South Africa, because according to foreign policy,
you're supposed
you
to go
must
to
migrate to them.
You're
So
supposed
you
to
cannot
go
come
to
to South Africa, seek refuge in a wrong country and ask us silly questions, ma'am.
No. The government. Which government?
The government.
Which government? Which government you're talking about?
Let me tell you something. Shh. Keep quiet. We don't have time to reason with foreigners. Leave, my guy.
Let's go, ma'am.
No.
Let's go, ma'am.
Shush. Leave. Leave.
Let's go.
We don't reason with foreigners. We don't want the reason.
You ran away from your problems.
I say any South Africans watching this, please relax on your own brothers, because this could turn out to be very bad for you. There are South Africans who are living in Ghana. There are South Africans that are living in Nigeria. There are South Africans that are living all across Africa and Kenya. If these Africans find out that you lot are punishing their own brothers and sisters, what do you think they're gonna do to South Africans that are living in their countries? I don't know what the Ghanaians and the Nigerians are gonna do, but I know what Kenyans are like. Lord knows what Kenyans are like when they don't agree with something. Look how crazy they went when Ruto was doing the mad thing. They rioted the streets, they shut down everything. Now let them find out that you lot are punishing their nationals in your country. What do you think is going to happen to South Africans that are living in Kenya? This is not good. There should not be a problem with other Africans moving to different places in Africa. I don't think we should treat Africans in Africa as immigrants.
You call them foreigners. What is the definition of a foreigner? A foreigner is a person who comes into your country without papers, doesn't have anything to show. That includes you. You are foreigners because you have nothing to show. You go around claiming this is your country. Let's go outside, show me papers that confirms you are the owner of this country. There's nothing. You don't own anything, yet you call people foreigners. You are a foreigner yourself because you do not own. Foreigners means visitors. Visitors are people who just come empty-handed with a small bag. When the time permits, they go. That's you. You are marching from the hostels, beating up people that they must leave South Africa. Yet you do not own a hostel. You are paying a rent in that hostel. You can be removed yourself from that hostel. You are telling people to leave your country. You come from an apartment, you come from a flat, you come from a house, you have no paper. When you return back home, after taking out Zimbabweans, the white man will be at the door showing you the way out of the rented flat, out of the rented house, out of the rented apartment.
I lived in Kenya for a short while, and I was brothers with people from Burundi, people from South Sudan, people from Uganda, there's people from Somalia, people from Tanzania. We're all a big mixing pot of Africans who live in Kenya, and there's no issues. There's no discrimination. There's no, you can't be here. No, we work together to help each other. We're all in this together. That's how it should be. But the way how the South Africans are treating other Africans right now is not good at all. You know, and it really does need to change. They have a problem with their leaders in their own country. They need to sort that. But the resolve is not to kick out people who are your own brothers and sisters. That's not the resolve. That's not going to help you. And then you get rid of them. How does that solve your problems? Now you have less skilled workers working jobs. Come on, man. When it's a situation like this, I can't just sit on the fence. It's wrong. It really is. There's no two ways about it. It's It's right and wrong, and this is wrong. This is not how you treat your own people. This is not how you do it, especially when your people or our people have helped you in your time of need. How can you move like this?
South Africans are very angry. There are countless videos being posted online that show just how angry they are. A lot of the anger, frustration, and violence, however, is being directed at the African immigrant and migrant community.
We are fixing this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other, it's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore.
Operation Dudula is an anti-migrant populist movement that was founded in 2021 to fight crime and drug trafficking in South Africa's Soweto township. Similar movements have now sprouted across the nation. Initially, the group was focused on banishing African migrants from government-funded hospitals as well as their children from government-funded schools. Operation Dudula and similar movements have now moved on to shutting down illegally run shops and simply profiling anyone who does not look South African. The same year that Operation Dudula started expelling foreign African nationals for taking resources away from South Africans, the Minister of Health at the time, William Kize, who is South African, was put on special leave as his department had been caught up in numerous corruption allegations. One of the allegations was that in 1 year, his department siphoned 280 million rand worth of taxpayer money. In March of this year, the Department of Health's Director General was suspended on charges of fraud and theft. On Monday, the country's Special Investigation Unit revealed a 54 million rand tender scandal involving a South African businessman and Eskom. A former CEO of Eskom, which is South Africa's state-owned electricity company, revealed that the blatant corruption within the company costs taxpayers, on average, 1 billion rand a month. Just this week, 21 South African officials were caught in a 35 million rand streetlight scandal. And perhaps worst of all, South Africa's top cop, the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masimola, appeared in court this week over an alleged 360 million rand unlawful contract. There are real challenges in South Africa, like undocumented migration and a drug industry where some networks involve foreign nationals. But most of the biggest issues do not have a foreign face. The people taking the most from South Africans are the ones in power. Real accountability sits with leadership. South Africans are being exploited, but mostly by those who sit above and watch as you hunt down and fight amongst your fellow Africans.
Yeah, so just a message to South Africans. I know it's not all of you that think like this, but please tell your brothers, tell your sisters, remember that we're all in this together. Remember that we were separated by force, but we were brothers to begin with. We were sisters to begin with. Please don't keep pushing other Africans and kicking them to the curb. That's not how you treat your brothers and sisters. Yeah, remember that. Thank you very much for watching. You stuck around to the end. God bless you. Please like the video, subscribe. Got more videos coming out soon. And yeah.